Hey, Phil.
Hey, Senda.
Do you want to keep talking about...
Co-GMing. I do. I want to keep talking about co-GMing.
Do you just keep copying last week's notes?
Look, yes, I'm cutting corners here just to get the notes done. I did. I copied last week's notes.
Okay, whatever. Cue music.
And welcome to another episode of Panda's Talking Games. I'm one of your co-hosts, Phil.
And I am your other co-host, Senda, and I don't know if I'm shocked or delighted that you did that exactly the same way for the third week in a row.
People won't even know if you're just cutting and pasting it from last episode, but we're not.
But it doesn't even say co-host. He's like creatively on the fly doing it every time.
I am a professional.
Professionals. Hey, friends, before we get into the episode, let's tell you about this cool thing that you might enjoy because you like podcasts, right? You're listening to one
us
right now. Maybe you also like audiobooks because you like to have your entertainment come through your ears, because that's a thing. Did you know that you can now get Never Unprepared, the complete Game Master's Guide to Session Prep, written by Phil Vecchione? Who could that be?
That's me.
At audible.com. Well, you can. So if you like audiobooks and you like GMing advice, and gosh, you're listening to this show, you should probably check that out. We're going to have a link in the show notes, again, because it's super cool and exciting and very well read.
Awesome. Thank you. Real quick, a little bit of business before we kick into the show. This is the last show for 2019. So we're recording it tonight on the 16th. Mm-hmm. It's going to drop on the 23rd. So that's right before Christmas. Then there will not be an episode on the 30th because we're not recording Christmas week.
Yep.
And then we'll be back fresh and new with a new topic, actually.
Maybe.
Because we're going to conclude our talk tonight. We'll be back fresh and new on the 6th. So on January 6th, we'll be back doing what we do best, talking about 2 points of a topic. No hints. But yeah, I've got that queued up to go. So you're listening to this one. Then there won't be one next week on the 30th, and then there will be a new one on the 6th. Sound good?
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you for letting us take the holidays off.
Cool. Tonight, we continue our discussion about co-GMing.
So specifically, we are talking about concurrent GMing, where two GMs are running a single session together, right? So last episode, we continued our negotiation on how to do this, and Phil, instead of giving us a definition, is going to give us a recap.
Yep. So in order to make co-GMing work, we started by looking at a couple of things. In our first episode of this, because this is a 3-part series, in our first episode, we looked at power dynamic. So when we have two people co-GMing, do we want them to be equals? Do we want them in a lead support, etc.? And ultimately, what we boiled our discussion down to was outside of the game. We are just two equals coming up with ideas and putting our session together. But during the game, we were going to do a lead support structure where I would be the primary lead and you would be the support. Mm-hmm. Now, that's not the same as primary narrator.
Yes.
Because primary narrator, we're going to talk about, you're going to talk about a little, and we're going to talk about it a lot more tonight.
Yep.
Primary narrator is actually a thing that can switch. But in the course of the game, I'm going to kind of drive the game forward, and you're going to be the person who kind of supports.
Yep.
In that. And really the only thing that this really sets up, other than just kind of setting kind of the tone for I'll push the game along kind of thing, is that if we ever get to a point during a game where we disagree about how we want to resolve something, I'll just go and resolve it.
Yep.
I'll make whatever decision. I'll try to blend both of ours, but I'll come up with some decision and keep the game going forward because we never want our game to be stuck.
Right. Good. So last episode, we talked about workload, which was who is going to be responsible for which parts of GMing the game. We decided that there would be a lead narrator and a support narrator, which will be roles that we will switch, right? as the game progresses. So it's going to start with Phila's lead, but then it's going to pass over to me and like back at any time. And how we do that is part of what we're going to talk about tonight. So the support narrator is going to by default play out any NPCs in a scene unless we've specifically decided previously in prep that one of us is going to play that character, or if we like call them as like, no, I really want this one, right?
Yep.
And then when it comes to the rules, Phil is going to take point on making sure that he knows the rules, as well as making rulings on things that come up during play, that's just safer. It's much safer because if you let me make rulings, I will make much loosier-goosier rulings. And
we just won't be playing the exact. We just may not be playing the same game.
We wouldn't be running the same game. So it's much better if you're just responsible for the rules. And then we're both, of course, going to be responsible for the safety, but I will talk about them during the setup of the game. And then outside of the game, Phil is going to handle a lot of the actual generation of items for session prep. And we're going to do idea generation stuff together, right? And he's going to deal with like notes.
Yeah, because I actually write session notes, so you don't.
Yes, because he actually wants to have like notes, not like a single sentence on a piece of paper that I'd like forget and throw away somewhere.
Yes. Now, depending on the game, again, the notes that we require have a lot to do with the game that we are going to run, which is also part
decided.
of Okay. Cool. All right. So with all of that, we're going to talk tonight about two topics. We'll talk about handoffs, which is how and when we're going to change who is talking at the table. This will also have to do with how we indicate to each other when to switch narrators and also when we need to conference. Mm-hmm. Right? Because there'll be times where we might want to just like put our heads together, whisper something to each other, and then continue playing.
Yes.
And then the last part of this will be then just to figure out
what game
we think this might be fun to
right.
do with.
I mean, like we've been talking about all the bits and pieces and all the mechanical stuffs, but we haven't talked about what we're going to run yet. So that'll be fun.
Exactly. So cool. Let's jump right in. Let's talk about handoffs. And I guess I'll just set this up, right? There are two... I think I can picture two places where we need the ability to hand off, right? So one is definitely when we want to switch primary narrator.
Yeah.
Right? And there'll be times for that. So we definitely need to talk about that. And I think the other one is just what I said, right? There are going to be times where you're going to want to confer. Like you might, like, let's say I'm primary narrator and we're playing a PBTA game and a 6- comes up and I'm like, I don't know. And I'm starting to look at the list of moves
and I'm like,
and you have an idea. Right.
Yeah.
You're going to want to just be able to come right in and just be like, what about this one?
Yeah.
Right. So let's do the easy one then. Let's talk about when we want to let's talk about times when we want to switch narrator. And I don't want to say I don't want to have criteria for when we want to switch because different games, different stories, different tables will kind of determine when that happens.
Yeah.
So how do we tag out, so to speak, right? So to use wrestling terms, how do we indicate to each other instead of saying something clumsily like, "Oh, I think you should narrate this section," right? Like
yes, because that's awkward.
No, because I think what we want, right, is it's one thing for us to be GMing this, but I think the other thing is that for lack of better phrase, we should look good while we're doing this, right?
It should look seamless and practiced. And not floppy and with awkward staring.
So the question is, we could do something like an object, right? So we could have something that's this is the talking stick kind of thing, right? Like when I have it, I'm primary narrator. When I hand it to you, you're now primary narrator.
Right.
Or that's a very quiet.
If I can reach out and tap it or something to be like, hey, I have a really good thought. Let me jump in.
Interesting.
Right, because that's the other thing that could happen, right? Like you might. Well,
I didn't even want to talk about that one yet.
Oh, okay.
Can we just let's focus on because we have to talk about the other one, but let's solve the first one first. Right.
So I mean, if we solve it with an object, then I think the object can become the solution to more of the things.
I agree, and I think what if we had a panda?
Aww. I mean, that's just on brand.
Right, but what if we got a little plastic or vinyl panda, not too big?
I have some options.
Right?
I
not
have
that
some
stinky ball thing. Not that swag,
No.
those stinky balls from the swag thing.
Okay, well, I've got a cute one that's about 2 fist size, and I've got a cute one that's about 1 fist size, and then I have a little Lego big and little panda that PK Sullivan gave me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be something. So I think if we do something like that, If we make it
what about the
an odd-
erasers?
Too small. Too small. The eraser will get lost.
Okay.
I'm thinking like a couple inches in height, right?
Okay.
And not fiddly because I fidget. So like a Lego one, I will mess with.
Fair
right?
enough.
Like it just needs to be like a solid piece of plastic.
A solid piece of Panda.
Yeah. So if we had something like that, then it would be very easy. Like for instance, I'm primary narrator. It's sitting in front of me, and we're playing, and I want to hand off to you. Like I want to go look up rules or something like that. Then I would just slide it over to you.
Yeah.
Right? Because we'd be sitting next to each other, right? So I'd just slide it over to you, or you'd slide it back to me.
Yep.
Or maybe if I stop and turn and look at the rule book, like you would actually just take it and slide it over to you.
Yep.
Right. I think that is probably better than literally every other idea I had.
I think that's better because I've been trying to think about this one for a while, and I've been like, how the hell are we gonna do this? I was thinking about like if I tap you on the shoulder once, it means this, and if I tap you on the elbow, it means
right. I had the same idea. Like, what if we had like a hand symbol, right? Like throwing up gang signs in the middle of and what if you don't see it? Right.
Right. I think we should just pick up a Panda.
Yeah, I think just having a Panda that we can pass back and forth is essentially the talking stick, right? And so the thing that we know is the person who has the Panda is the primary narrator, and the person who doesn't is the support narrator.
Yeah.
Which means that our other rules about workload kick in.
Yep.
Right? And for instance, probably a good handoff rule would be if we ever bog down in a rule and there's other things that could be going on.
Yeah.
Right? Like if there isn't, like if everything's hinged on this one rule, then I just have to look it up.
Right.
But if it's there's dialogue or something else going on, I could turn to the rule book, you could grab the Panda.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the thing where I was saying if you're going along and you're just chugging through and I'm like, ooh, give me the narration. I want to request it. Can I have it? Then I think it's something if I reach over and I point at the Panda.
I think you just put your hand on it.
Put my hand on it kind of thing.
And then it's just a nod.
Right. And it's a yes or a no, right? Because if you're going somewhere with where you are, it's fine if you say no, right? No, I got
right.
this.
But I may not want to say no. I may just put my hand up,
yeah,
right?
No,
I might do a no.
Or you might give me
a 1 second,
one more.
Just give me a second to finish this piece,
yep,
right?
I'm gonna finish this up right here.
Right. Yeah. Or I may I may give you the thumbs up.
Right. That
there we go.
There you go. Yeah.
So a hand for no. Let me keep rolling.
Yep.
The one finger for let me finish this beat.
Yeah. So I'm going to wrap this thing and I see you and then I'll pass it over is basically what that is.
And then the thumbs up.
The thumbs up is, just take it.
Just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think the less we talk about that, the less disruptive it'll be the players. If we can just do that. And I know we'll have to practice at it when we actually start running it.
Yeah. It'll take a little practice, I'm sure, but.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that'll be good. And then anytime it breaks, anytime we take a break.
Yeah, we should just come back with the other person narrating.
We should just decide. Yeah. I don't want to have hard rules for these things.
That's true,
because the game will dictate what we need.
Yeah.
But breaks are a good point for us to be, because breaks we actually can just talk to each other, right? So we can be all right, cool, everybody take a 5, and then be all right, hey, when we get back from this, do you want to just pick up narration for a little while?
Yeah. And are we still on the same page with how we think this is going and where it's going? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the other part, right? So anytime we call for a table break, we can sync up really quick.
Yeah. So we may call for table breaks slightly more than we do in a standard slot, because I'm thinking we may, because I always take a break right after character creation, right?
I do too. And
then I usually take one more in there somewhere, right?
I usually take one 3/4 of the way through before the climactic battle.
Yeah. But we might want to just do one after character creation and then do one every hour-ish. Kind of just to sync up.
If we do, we just have
right?
If we do, we have to
we just have to keep them short.
Well, we have to differentiate, right? Like there's a like get up and go to the bathroom break. That's like because they're never 5 minutes, right? That's a 10-minute break.
Yeah.
Versus hey everybody, like quick
decompress, chat,
like grab a sip of water,
yeah.
stretch your neck,
yeah,
open a snack kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. I think we can have those in there, and I think we just tell people like, hey, we're gonna have two style of breaks during this, right? We're going to have 2 longer breaks, which are going to be like, if you have to get up and run to the bathroom, feel free. And we might have 1 or 2 small breaks where we're just going to ask you like to,
talk amongst yourself
stand
for
up.
a second.
Yeah, talk amongst yourself, stretch your legs, whatever, while we, check in with each other and then keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I think it's really good.
And we might not even need those other ones. It'll be interesting to find out. Maybe what we need is just a way to communicate with each other if we feel like we do need one.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't call it,
yeah.
like the thing that we have to be careful of is we have to be careful of the thing where we're in front of the players and then like, I don't know, you either whisper to me or text it or something. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, not now.
Yeah.
Later. Yeah. Or blue. That's definitely blue.
Right.
Like
what?
Right. Like we should, if we need to confer with each other, mm-hmm. we should just confer with each other, because I'm not always going to have my phone out or whatever, and like passing notes to each other is going to be disruptive because I have to stop talking, look at the note,
right.
that kind of
It's
thing.
hard to maintain stream of thought and keep the dead air out. Yeah. So how are we going to let each other know if we feel like we need to have that sync up?
Well, I think
or do we
that
just
if we
literally stop like every hour and just look at each other and be like, do you want to have a little break? Or are we cool? Because that might be the best in that circumstance. Like
maybe that's the best way. The other way would be that whoever needs it just calls for it.
Yeah.
Like if you need, like if we're not. So here's the thing: we run a lot of games that have some improv. So even when we have notes, we're going to go off the rails.
Oh yeah.
So I think really the reason to pause and sync up is if you don't see. Well, it's one of two things. I'm okay enough improv wise that if I pass narration to you and you kind of take the game not where I expect it, that when I get narration back, I'll just follow where you put it down last.
I mean, I'm pretty good with that too. It's just a question of if we have a set end point that we're trying to achieve. I mean, I don't know. This may be
that would need some, like, we might need to confer about something like that.
Yeah.
Right? If we were running, like, for instance, if we were running Tales from the Loop.
Yeah.
And we were doing a mystery.
Yeah.
Which is, when we talk about games in a second, probably not my first suggestion.
Probably not a good one for us to, at least to start with.
Well, it's harder because that is one where you have to land in a certain place.
Yes. Which is hard with
and
two
we
people
would have to
narrating.
confer a lot. Like,
Yes.
oh, okay, what about this clue? What about that clue?
Yeah.
But if we're playing something, more open,
mm-hmm.
then basically I think those check-ins are just like, I think you were taking it in this direction. Am I reading you right?
Yes. Yep.
Which
that's what I imagine.
I feel,
yeah.
Right. Which I feel like after co-hosting 185 episodes with you, that I've got a pretty good idea of where you're putting stuff down, right? Like I have a pretty good idea where you're leading to. So I think that's the way we do it, is that whoever needs it chimes in. So if I think I don't need it and you start to see me straying, like you could be like, cool, let's take a break.
Yeah.
And maybe what we do is, okay, so if we need to take a break in the middle of narration, what if we just use the panda again and we just like tip the panda on its side?
Oh yeah, that'll work. Yeah, because it gives you a chance to come to a stopping point in the narration so that it's not. I mean, a lot of this is about like, how do we work our need for communication and all those things around not mangling the story beats.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
That's
so I think
really
if
what
you,
it's about.
I think if you tip the panda to the side,
panda,
then that indicates that. So one, this means that whatever we get, this panda has to be able to stand.
It has to stand
right?
and roll over.
Yeah, it just has to lay down, right? So it has to stand or lay down.
Yeah.
We'll go check on Amazon for something. But if you were to tip it over, then what that would, or lay it down or whatever, that would indicate like we feel like we're falling out of sync. We should take a minute. And then like at the right story beat, let's say I'm primary narrator, mm-hmm. like I see a natural pause moment.
Yep.
I would be like, cool, everybody hold right there. We're going to come back to you in 1 second, and then just turn to you and be like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. and be like, oh, okay. Oh, cool. And then maybe the decision is, oh, I was kind of off the beat a bit here. Take narration.
Right. Well, I mean, everything else from there is managed by the handoffs that we've already discussed.
So I feel like that's actually pretty good.
I feel like that's
right?
pretty good. We just need to go find a Panda.
Okay. I mean, I think that works. I think that works really well. I think I had other thoughts all this week about like different ways to do it.
I have also been thinking about it, and none of them were good. This is much better.
Right. It wasn't until we actually sat down and I said it, and I was like,
oh, that's good.
Wait.
That's
I said this.
good.
You know what it was? I said the phrase talking stick, and I was like, because Chris always says that, like passing the talking stick. And I was like, oh, wait.
That's
no,
that's actually
that's
what
exactly
we need to
the thing we need.
Yeah,
right,
we actually need to pass the talking stick. That's actually what that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if we're going to have a talking stick, it needs to be a Panda.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool.
Cool.
All right. So I think we're good. Like, do you feel good on handoff?
I feel totally good on handoff. I mean, so the question now with this giant range of possibilities before us is,
yes,
what game do you want to test this out on?
Right. So let's talk about some games that I don't want to test
Okay,
it
sure.
out on,
We can narrow it down.
I think I want a game that's less traditional, more improvish.
Yeah, I think that will behove us. And also, I think, to your point about Tales from the Loop, I think avoiding games that are pre-created mysteries is probably a good idea. Because that seems like a hard one to try this with.
Yeah, I think pre-created mysteries, conspiracies, those kinds of things require certain nuance that's going to be hard to do while we're chatting back and forth to each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. All right, so cool. I also think that just to try this out, because I think we need a system that falls strongly in our wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Like combined wheelhouse.
Yep.
So PBTA is absolutely the
yes.
PBTA is the best system for the two of us.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the best bridge for the two of us in terms of like we both know it and all of those things. And I also think that it's a good improv system that also gives us opportunities to hand narration back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I agree. I agree completely. Right. I think it's I think it has enough rules that that'll make it interesting.
Yeah.
Not enough rules that you won't be able.
Yes.
Like you won't be relying on me the whole time.
Right. I won't be relying on you to like do everything. Like we're not running Forbidden Lands here.
Correct. Hell, I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I go in and out of Forbidden Lands. Like the rule book in a session, it's a lot.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Okay. So if we're going PBTA, and if we're going based on our preferences, which is, I think, probably games that
feels games,
right?
Yep.
Let's see. So I'm gonna take the criminal ones off the table because I think that's more my wheelhouse than you.
Yeah, it's difficult for me to improv them because I don't know the genre as well. But having said that, masks.
I mean, masks is absolutely possible.
Mm-hmm.
My comic book genre is strong, and yours is not weak in the least.
Right. It's not quite as strong as yours, but a lot of the mask stuff also happens to follow sort of like anime stuff too.
Which is very much your...
I'm like, I can fake it really well.
I might also suggest bite marks.
Oh, I'm so excited to get that game to the table.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, that might be that one's all passion and...
Yeah.
Like, that, I have not read it yet, I will say that. But I think I want to put it on the short list because I think bite marks might be pretty good.
I think that one would be delightful. It's delicious. It's got everything. It's got
yes, easy stuff on
werewolves. It's got feelings. It's got pack fights.
I will also say that the other one that I think that we're talking about I would put out there might be Monster Hearts 2.
Yeah, which I haven't played at all yet. It's on my shelf.
I have not either, but I think it's Bite Marks and Monster Hearts are two games that we have very much wanted to play.
Oh, yes.
They would give us a good excuse to actually learn the game and run something.
Yes.
And both of us like feels games and games with high tension and emotion. and having an extra GM in there.
Yeah, hopefully just make
Like
it
an
better.
extra-
Yeah.
All right. So I think we have 3 solid candidates.
You know what? I think we can just take masks off the table because I really like masks. I really enjoy it, but I have played it several times at this point.
I ran a whole campaign.
I know.
of it.
I'm like, I am more excited about running something that I haven't run yet because of the new shiny is the only thing that's pulling me away. To be clear, I love masks.
There's nothing wrong with masks, but I think that I think either bite marks or Monster Hearts, and then you know what? I'm even going to advance it forward one more.
Oh yeah.
I think Monster Hearts has been. I think lots of people have run Monster Hearts.
Okay, that's fair. Bite marks is
heading into
new. Going into
heading
this
into
season.
2020, I think it would be fun if we ran something new.
Yep.
And something hot, like bite marks will be hot, right? Like it's gonna be passionate, sexy werewolves fighting. I think there's a lot in there that we could.
It was so much fun to play.
Right. So, yeah. Do you want to try it?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, the only other one that I would say, but I don't know when it's coming out is Hearts of Wulin.
Correct.
But I don't know when it's coming out. So we should plan for bite marks. Because I have the PDF in my hot little hand.
I do too.
Yes.
If this winds up working out, then we'll just do Hearts of Wulin later when it comes out.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Totally awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I think we have, now that we have a plan and a game in mind, I think we are ready to move to the closing of the show.
Woot.
I will say this before we close.
Yeah.
If you're going to be at a con anytime in 2020, you should look for us. Now, I will tell you, it will probably be listed under one of us, and then in the description, we'll say a co-GM'd game by Phil and Senda or something. Because most systems only allow one of us to register. So it's whichever one of us takes the task of registering, which odds are it might be me.
Yeah, that falls into that category of like prepping.
Yes.
Except that it might be me because also I'm running the origins sheet for the network. So
also she's super popular, and if we put her name on it, then it'll just be like, oh, and Phil's here. So
Aw.
In either case, in 2020, keep your eyes out and convention rosters, because if you see bite marks and it's run by us or by one of us, it means it's going to be run by both of us.
Indeed.
Cool. Tell me about another show on the Misdirected Mark Network, and then let's get this whole thing wrapped up.
So on Bone, Stone, and Obsidian, Wayne and Robert take monthly deep dives into the Dark Sun setting and discuss it across all the editions of D&D.
Mm-hmm. They do indeed. Say, Senda, where can people find us on the internets?
Well, you can find us on Twitter at Pandas Talk Games. You can find us in the Misdirected Mark forums, which is forums.misdirectedmark.com, or you can get there from the website. Or if you like it better, you can send us an email, panda@misdirectedmark.com. And Phil, once they find us in one of those places or manage to write that email address down, what can they do with that information?
Please send us your topic. We love to do the show about the things that you find interesting. So tell us what you would like us to talk about, whether it's a question, whether it's a particular topic in gaming, whatever it is. Send it to us. I'll crank it out into an episode. Have no fear. I'm pretty adept at it at this point. And then we'll do it. And then you can hear what we have to say. So yeah, please do that. And if you like what we do here elsewhere on the Misdirected Mark Network, you can support our Patreon campaign. Patrons of the show get all sorts of things. The racy bonus outtakes from this show.
Wow.
The Misdirected Mark after show, which is a grab bag of, you don't know what you're going to get on that. You get access to our Slack room for life. You can come play Minecraft with us on our Minecraft server. You can get the occasional thing As we produce various games and publications through Encoded Designs, we like to sometimes give those things out to all of our patrons. So we like to do that as well. Your pledges go to support the network, the gear it takes to run, to host it, all of that stuff, our time, all of that stuff, which we greatly appreciate. Your money also goes to helping us create new shows. We're still working away on our show, our newest show that's coming to the network, right?
Yep, so we're going to take pitches through the end of the year, and then we're going to make a decision early on in the year. We'll probably be sending out some emails to folks who have emailed us, because all of the pitches that I've gotten are fantastic, and there's quite a few to sort through, so we're going to have to narrow it down, and then we're going to have to kind of do a couple of rounds of stuff to figure out.
That's awesome. Yeah, it'll be really exciting.
Great.
It'll be a really cool way to open 2020.
Yeah.
We also like to shout out to our patrons each week. So we're going to do 3. Would you like to do these 3 tonight?
Absolutely. Schmitty, the keeper of the labyrinth. Hi, Schmitty.
Hearts. We love Schmitty. Schmitty's also the admin of our Minecraft server.
Yeah.
So double hearts.
Double hearts for Schmitty. Tad Leckman, thank you so much, Tad. And James Fellows, thank you so much, James.
There's another thing you can do if you're already supporting the Patreon campaign or unable to support the Patreon campaign, which is totally fine. There's a thing that you can do that helps other people find the show on the podcast net feeds of their choice. It also gives us great artistic validation and makes us feel oh so happy. What's that thing? You
could leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or the podcatcher of your choice. Every new review you leave us really does actually help new people find the show, which is why we talk about it every week. Because it just does. So anyway, thank you so much to everyone who already has. We super duper appreciate you. Say, Phil, when do you think we're going to try this out?
Oh, I think we're going to try it out sooner than you think. I got something in mind.
This show is a joint production of She's a Super Geek and Misdirected Mark Productions, the media arm of Encoded Designs. Show me what you got, 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 show me what you got. Bloopy. Clicky.
So the red button when I said I wasn't ready was because I had actually put my mouse over the Hangouts hang up button.
No, wrong red button.
Wrong red button, right? So I was like, you were like, are you ready? And I'm like, yes, no.
No.
Right.
wrong red button.
Right, wrong
red button.
Bloop. Wrong red button. That's like my favorite UB40 song.
Is that an actual?
No.
What?
Senda. Have you never heard of the song Red Red Wine?
Oh, yeah.
Red Wine by UB40. Yes.
I didn't know who did it.
Wrong Red Button is my Wrong Red Button is my UB40 cover band.
So I've been watching Revolutionary Girl Utena if we want to generate some content that does not have to go to bonus outtakes.
That's not even a hard segue.
I know, it's really not.
Not even a hard segue, but go on. Tell me about your sword lesbian anime. I'm all ears.
It's just as weird as I remembered it, and I'm not really sure that I had ever like actually sat down and watched it, and now I'm on like episode 17 or something, and I don't know, sometimes it's super surreal. Like last episode, one of the main characters who's like sort of not very nice, she like turned into a literal cow. That happened. And I was like, what is
just
happening?
Transformed into a cow?
Well, it's like this like weird serious mystery, like we must break the shell of the world and like revolutionize everything, and like this weird and weird relationship-y stuff. Lots, so many like brother issues, so many. That's a problem. Many. Super weird. Like can totally understand the relationships from the perspective of like older guy, younger girl, sure, get that. The brother part, though. Whoa.
You're just going to file that under awkward.
Not really okay. But then there's the like delightful part where like Utena is like basically like disaster by, right? Like she's like searching for her prince, but accidentally falling in love with Anthe. And like, oh, yes. You know, it's very good.
Yes.
The other funny thing I have to tell you, and then I will let you actually talk about something else, is they always subtitle the words that they're singing in the background, even though they're in Japanese.
Sure.
It is the weirdest shit.
Oh,
Like,
the words?
They're just singing weird nonsense shit, like weird nonsense dramatic
like a Rob
stuff.
Zombie song.
It's super weird. Anyway, carry on.
I was going to chronicle where I was with my hair.
Did you
I
get
still
cut
haven't
yet?
gotten it cut. No. I'm going Thursday.
Okay. I was like, it looks mostly flattened, like tamped down this evening, probably because you haven't run your hands through it yet.
Well, one, I haven't run my hands through it probably as much, but two, I did paste it down pretty hard with some hair paste to get it in, like
under control.
Yeah. It is the thing, right? Because it does bug me. This week is like all grooming stuff because I did like my mani pedi this week. Like I did my manicure and stuff.
Yeah.
So my pedicure skills are kind of bunk, but my manicure skills, like my nails, I'm not gonna lie, my nails look fabulous. Like
pretty nice.
There's no polish on them. But they're shined. Like, you know, all the ridges are out and they're shined. But like, I've gotten really good at like getting the dead skin off and just like they're like, I like them. They're pretty hot actually.
I mean, the thing about that's funny is like, I'm not actually that good at it. You should do mine sometime.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I've never
come do my nails.
I've never actually done anyone else's, so it would be like really interesting to to try that. But I mean, like, I have a whole kit. Like,
I know. Bloop. Yeah, so I'm just asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. So yeah,
if you were to require a pouch of approximately what size and shape would this pouch be?
I hear you asking, but I think like I honestly have a bag of pouches, right? But if but a topo medium or topo large would totally work for that, right? Like those are. I have pouches though. Like I have a bag of pouches, right? A pouch of pouches.
Oh, I know. Bloop. I have to cut.
And with that, you just have to cut your track out. Like mine was okay.
Was it though? Was it?
Lost it. You lost your focus on that one. All right, we need to do a show now.
Okay, yeah, we're like
it's 9. That's 9 minutes. God.
I don't know how we talked about your manicure for.
We didn't. We talked about your stuff for like.
I know.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right.
I thought it was going to be an and, but it turned into a neck stretch. Okay, keep going. Sorry. Why are you doing it again?
You said to keep going. I'm stretching my neck.
I was expecting you to, like, do the show.
Start the show?
Yeah.
Okay, can you hold it together?
Maybe. Don't stretch your neck again because I'll just laugh.
Okay. I really want to now that you told me I can't.
Well, you should just do it.
Oh, it feels so good. Oh. Bloop. And she's just laughing. Well, it's outtake night tonight, folks.
I had it together and then I didn't. Okay. I'll stretch my neck too. It'll be great. Bloop.
Show me what you got.
Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Show me what you got.
This is a long episode.
Oh,
I got
boy.
like 40. I got 43.
55-ish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's just let's punch right. Well, let's first wait. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
May the merry bells keep ringing.
Happy holidays to you.
Did you actually stop? Oh, okay. Now I'll stop too. Bye. Happy New